Hello, brains. Have you ever felt like you're really bad at relaxing? Yeah, that's an ADHD thing. Sometimes what my brain needs is a break from self-reg. Sometimes it just needs a break from a specific stressor, like English. Babbel is great for that. Because it's engaging and stimulating, it's a way for me to get a mental break from something that I really care about but I can't stop spinning on, and get my brain spinning on something else for a minute so that I can come back fresh. What's great about Babbel is it's really interactive, but it's also designed by actual language teachers, so it's not just fun. I really feel like I'm learning this language.
Ik versta het niet.
Ik versta het niet. I appreciate that all of these right now are about me saying, I don't understand. What did you say? I don't understand it. Ik versta het niet. Babbel is teaching me the grammar and pronunciation of Dutch, which is very different from what I'm used to. Oh wait, no.
Het restaurant.
Het restaurant. Oh my gosh, that's really hard to say. Okay. I'm starting to feel more confident with it, and even having a bit of fun.
De pannenkoek.
De pannenkoek. Guess what that means? Pancakes! I'm still just a beginner, but because Babbel focuses on real-world conversations, I already feel comfortable speaking it when the opportunity comes up. At the keynote I gave recently for an organization in the Netherlands, I was even able to be playful with it. I'm excited to keep going with it and see how much more I can learn. If you'd like to learn a new language, I highly recommend Babbel. Just click the link in the description below or scan this QR code for 60% off your subscription. Other side. And let me know in the comments below what kind of language you want to learn and why. A lot of people in this community, including me, find that they have a really hard time relaxing, doing relaxing activities specifically, like going to the beach and just hanging out in a hammock and relaxing, or doing a puzzle, or just anything that's like deliberate relaxation activities are very difficult for people in this community as a general rule. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, we get bored real easily. You know, laying in a hammock and chilling and watching the sunset or whatever, that gets boring so fast, and our brains do not like to be bored. It can actually be more painful than relaxing, which is a lot of the time why I think I will start a project if left to my own devices. But I realized recently that there's another reason why we have a hard time relaxing. Focusing on a relaxing activity still requires self-regulation, and that is usually what we need a break from. Because we have a condition that makes regulating our attention, our emotions, our behavior, our sleep really difficult, a lot of the time what relaxation looks like, I have learned, is taking a break from self-reg. We have to put in so much extra effort to get ourselves to focus on the thing that we need to do, and to do the thing and say the thing right and mask our ADHD in certain situations, and all of these things engage in so much self-regulation, like active manual self-regulation on a regular basis, that taking a break from that is often what we need most. I have long talked about how it's really important to let our brains and bodies wander down a wiki hole, or like go on a walk and just explore, get some green time in, just to have that kind of effortless fascination where your brain's just kind of bouncing around and stuff. The problem is that takes energy. And as I recently learned, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. When really hyper-focusing for an extended period of time, like I had energy for absolutely nothing else. I definitely didn't have the energy to go for a walk, but I still needed a break. And so I didn't know what to do until one day my brain was like, I can't self-regulate like this. I need a break from self-regulation. And I was like, oh, that's what relaxing looks like for us. Honestly, just in general, like taking a break from relaxing. I learned this because there was one day where I just really needed a break. And instead of taking a break or doing anything that anybody else would think was relaxing, I started a new project. I didn't understand it either, because I'm like, if I had decided to do this project today, if I decided to focus on this project, then that would have been work. But because I didn't decide to, my brain decided to, I just let it do what it wanted, and it wanted to do a project that day. And so that's something that I've learned. Like, relaxing for us might look different than it does for most people, because our energy is put into something different than for most people. We put so much more energy than most people do into regulating our behavior, our emotions, our attention, everything about ourselves. We put so much energy into regulating that all the time that we often just need a break from that. And so I see a lot of times people saying like, oh yeah, like it's the dopamine, right? Like I'm scrolling through Twitter for the dopamine. I'm doing this for the dopamine. I'm chasing the dopamine. I think it's sometimes that we just need to let our brains off leash a little bit. We need a break from trying to focus on the thing we're supposed to be focusing on and just let our brains do what it wants. Are there times that we are, chasing cheap sources of dopamine because we're bored? Sure, but sometimes we're just exhausted. And so I think it's good to reframe that a little bit and know that if we are doing something that doesn't seem productive, it's because we're letting our brains off leash. We don't have to be doing a relaxing activity in order to relax. We just need to loosen the reins a little bit sometimes. Yeah, it's great to, have the house to yourself and do whatever you want and scream at the top of your lungs and like bounce, jump on the bed. I don't know. Be able to literally do whatever you want because there's nobody else around. But even if there's other people around, I think it's important to like not be like, I'm just not self-regulating. Everybody can just deal. I did have to do that at one point in writing the book. And I was very careful to like let people know, hey, I'm going to be a lot right now. I need a break from self-reg. I need to not self-regulate right now. I might be a lot. I might be loud. I might be silly. I don't know. I'm going to be a lot. I'm going to continue to be a lot, but you don't have to be here for it. Like, and if I'm bothering you, let me know. If you need to leave and go do your own thing, like that's totally fine. I just can't, like I was at that point where I was completely burnt out. But what I realized coming back to work and just in my normal day-to-day life, applying this new understanding, there's a lot of ways that we can take a break from self-reg. There's a lot of ways we can do that, even partially. So I've been a little bit more mindful of like, hey, I'm starting to get tired. I'm going to take a break from self-reg in this one aspect. I'm in a meeting with somebody who it's okay if I sit weird on my chair. So I'm just not going to care about that. Like I'm going to sit on my chair however I want to sit. And I'm not going to monitor that behavior. I'm not going to like try and sit in a professional way. I'm going to take that little bit of my brain off leash. I'm going to unmask that part of my ADHD. Taking a break from self-reg does not mean deliberately doing something relaxing. It means letting your brain do what it wants to do, even if that's the exact same thing it would have been doing otherwise. I think that's the key. Like, that's why it's so confusing. That's why I thought I was so bad at relaxing for so long is like, yeah, I got bored and I immediately started doing something else that was definitely not a relaxing activity. Well, because when my brain's off leash, it doesn't want to do a relaxing activity because it's boring. The point is like, not forcing it to do something that it is not in the mood to do. That's what taking a break from self-reg looks like. So if I want to sit, right now I'm like, I want to sit cross-legged. Cool. That's what I'm doing. We can at least in little ways start to give ourselves a break from the self-regulation that we have to do a day in and day out. And here's the thing. If we don't give ourselves that break, I feel like we're going to take it anyway. If I don't let my brain off leash now and then, if I don't recharge that, that ability to self-regulate, at some point my brain starts to rebel or I can't keep it anymore and I'm going to be reactive to something or whatever. It's really important for us to take that time to recharge because if we don't, like, our brains are going to take it anyway. It is not realistic for us to be able to perfectly manage our attention and behavior and emotions and everything 24/7. It's just not. We need a break. Like, mindfully give yourself a break and be like, I'm not going to ask my brain to do something it doesn't want to do right now. I'm going to let it do what it wants because I know that I'm going to need to be able to focus later. I know that I'm going to need to be on tomorrow. And so like today I'm going to give myself a break. That's, I think, what meds do too, is like it makes it easier to self-regulate. Like that's what my meds do for me. And so on days when I don't have my meds, when I can't take my meds, when I'm out of meds, whatever, I let my brain off leash a little bit more because it is more effort for me to self-regulate on those days. But I just wanted to put it out there. Like, I think it would be really cool to have that vocabulary in our community. Like, do you want to do a fun, relaxing activity or do you need a break from self-reg? Because I think those are two different things. And I think by trying to relax correctly, we are unintentionally not giving ourselves the break that we need, at least speaking for myself. And I do see it a lot in the community too. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you to my brain advocates and all my Patreon brains for helping me support this channel so that I can talk about what I want to talk about and do videos that I think are going to be helpful for the community. I think this is going to be something that's really important for our community to like think about and be aware of. I'm curious what you do, like that you actually find relaxing. Like if you give yourself a break from self-regulating, what does your brain naturally want to do? Because I think it'll be different from person to person in the community. But for me, it often is starting a project, doing something creative, or I don't know, like thinking deep philosophical thoughts. That's what my brain wants to do a lot of the time. So It seems like work, but if it's not scheduled, if it's not something that I'm trying to focus on, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a break. So I think maybe that's the takeaway is like, take a break from self-reg now and then, like see if that's relaxing and notice how that feels compared to trying to do something relaxing, and like which actually feels recharging, what actually feels better to you. Like, subscribe, click all the things, and I will see you next video. Bye, brains. Thank you again to Babbel for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description or scan the QR to get 60% off your subscription.